Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Elis Adelle. I'm an intuitive tarot reader and astrologer, and I'm here to talk to you about the Lion's Gate portal, as it's called, or this period of time that we are moving through right now at the end of July and beginning of August, this transition from July to August. And this period of time is often referred to in the spiritual community as the Lion's Gate portal. And today I want to talk a little bit about that, some downloads that have been coming through about this time period, why it's important, and maybe where there's been some disinformation happening. So first and foremost, the Lion's Gate portal, what people often know about it is that it's connected to ancient Egypt and the pyramids in Giza and the alignment of the star Sirius to those pyramids. And while this is somewhat true, those pyramids are aligned to the star Sirius, there's also this common misconception that this marked the flooding of the Nile, and that's what made it an important part of the Egyptian calendar. And it's important to note that the ancient Mayans also were very aware of Sirius, and their new year was also during this period of time, end of July, beginning of August. And this is what is known as like the galactic new year, right? The galactic new year, why? Because this is the time actually when on the eastern horizon, Sirius, the star Sirius, is on the eastern horizon at the same time that the sun is rising. So I was getting some downloads about that, so I've made a little diagram here to talk about this. So this is a birth chart. This is the way that we look at a birth chart. If you've ever looked at your own birth chart or any kind of a chart, you'll know that the chart is divided into 12 different slices like a pie, and that there are 4 principal lines that you should be aware of, which is this line right through the middle, which marks your ascendant and your descendant. And whatever sign was at this point, this was the sign that was right at the eastern horizon the moment that you were born, and this marks the ascendant. And so this is therefore where the sun rises in the east and goes up and over and descends in the west. And then you also have your MC and your IC here, which is this line right here, which we're not going to talk about today. But suffice to say that this is the 12th house is the house that rules the area of the sky the first few hours that the sun is rising, from sunrise onward, right? Which is a very interesting thing to note about the 12th house, because the 12th house is the spiritual house. The 12th house is the house of the collective subconscious, unconscious. The 12th house is the house that talks about the dissolution of ego, connection to source, to spirit, to the creator, to our higher selves, and to our inner wisdom. And I find that to be very interesting, right? Because this is the first house, and the first house is the part that's not in the sky. This bottom half of the chart is the part of the chart where we are, where the sun isn't, where we cannot see. This is like the back of the earth, shall we say. This is, if the sun rises on the horizon here, this means that it came from the other side of the horizon, the other side of the earth that's not visible to us. And so this represents our formative years, our foundation in life, and our building up of the identity of the self. And when we come up on the other side through the 7th house onward, this is where we join again the collective energy and come out into the world as a complete individual. So it's very interesting to note that the way we read the chart is in opposite direction to the way in which the sun is actually moving. Now, why is this relevant? Because at this time of the year that we are moving through right now, at this moment of the sunrise, at the moment that our sun is on this eastern horizon, we see Sirius, the star Sirius, in the sky as well. So if you were to wake up very early in the morning and go outside and about half an hour before the sun rises and you look onto the eastern horizon at this time, you will see the constellation of Orion and Sirius. And this will vary a little bit depending on where you are on the planet. But in general, you will see the star Sirius. And so the download was coming through that this is why this is the important time of the year. It's because of our alignment of the sun with the star Sirius in this very special part of the sky that is the 12th house, right? In this quadrant of the sky that is connected to our most spiritual essence, and that's connected to the collective subconscious, unconscious, and the collective awakening process, right? If we're talking about individual spirituality, that's the 4th house and the 8th house. That's where we develop our spirituality. That's where we work through our family spirituality. That's where we go through our individual gifts and progressions. But the 12th house is where we have collective ascension and awakening. So that's one thing that was coming through, that this is why this is an important and high vibrational time of the year. This is why there's so much energy at this time of the year. But let's go deeper into what Sirius actually is. If Sirius is just another regular star, fixed star in the sky, why is it so important that particularly when Sirius is on the eastern horizon, that the ancients created their whole calendar system around it? What was so important about Sirius? So for that, we need to know a little bit about the progression cycle, the procession cycle. That is about 24 to 26,000 years. And this is what splits up the ages, right? As many of you know, we are moving out of the age of Pisces and into the age of Aquarius. Each age lasts anywhere from like 2,000 to 3,000 years, give or take. And it therefore takes about 24 to 26,000 years to complete the cycle through all of the zodiac signs. And up until now, science has explained this due to, this is our Earth here, and our Earth is on an axis, and this axis has a slight wobble that moves around. And as it moves around this slight wobble, that this rotation of the axis around this circle is what creates the procession cycle. Okay? That is the theory that science has created up until now. Now, what I believe is true, and what the ancients believed, is that our sun and Sirius are in a binary star system. And this is proven by NASA that a vast majority, I want to say close to 95% of all stars are in binary star systems, where it's not just one single star with a bunch of planets around it like in ours, it's two stars that are orbiting each other, each with their respective planets around them. Now, the ancients knew that Sirius was our binary star to our sun, and that this is why Sirius is so important. This is why Sirius has such high vibrational energy. Now, we are just getting out of a 12,000 year cycle in which Sirius was moving away from us. Here we are, and we were moving away from Sirius, right? When the energies of these two systems were moving away from each other in this elliptical orbit. And Sirius has just recently made the turnaround to start moving back towards us. And as Sirius moves back towards us and we move towards Sirius, the consciousness on the planet elevates and the awareness on the planet elevates. So that's why we can think back to times such as like Atlantis and Lemuria. These were times when Sirius was closer to our sun, when our orbits were more closer together. So we are just at the beginning of this turning of the tide, turning of the age, where Sirius is coming back around towards us. And this is also explained by the ancient systems of like the Kali Yuga, that's explained in the Hindu tradition. And it is also explained in the Mayan calendar that the age would end in 2012. And what they meant was that this dark age, this time of Sirius moving away and being in this lack of consciousness, lack of light, lack of awareness would end. And then the new age would begin. And I'm going to link a documentary in the description box where they go in depth about all of this. When this documentary just recently came to me, in my research that I've been doing about Sirius. So one of the other things that was coming through very strongly about all of this is that this is ancient mystery knowledge, this knowledge of Sirius being part of our binary system. This is going to revolutionize the way in which we think about ourselves, the way we think about the universe, in the same way that when science first began to understand that the Earth is actually round and not flat, for example, science was revolutionized. In the same way that when science began to understand that the sun was the center of our solar system and not our Earth, it revolutionized science. But it took a couple hundred years for those new concepts in science to be accepted by the mainstream scientific community and integrated and understood. And people who were often trying to educate others on this new information were persecuted and called crazy, right? So it's a similar thing with this situation with Sirius. This is knowledge, this is deep occult knowledge that has been hidden. And this Lion's Gate portal is a period of time where it's true that this is a potent portal of high vibrational energy, but it's not known in the way that it should be. It's been rebranded as this Lion's Gate portal by other occult forces who want people to be misinformed, who have a vested interest in maintaining the New Age spiritual community and mainstream spirituality in a unaligned and an unaligned state. Because if you understand and you feel, because you're sensitive, that this is a powerful spiritual portal, right? As I'm sure all of you who are watching do, you feel how much heightened energy is around this time of the year. But if you don't have the full knowledge of why this is a heightened time, why Sirius is important, then it's keeping a key factor out of your consciousness, and therefore leaves you susceptible to energetic or spiritual manipulation by other forces. And that's why around this time of the year there are so many like ritualistic type things that happen, like with CERN, like with the Olympics, like with all kinds of other governmental or group New World Order type groups that do lots of events and rituals in the public eye around this time, because they are harnessing this energy and using it, okay? Because they know, but they don't want us to know, right? So I am here to just bring through any more information from Sirius, from the energy of Sirius. What would Sirius like to communicate to us? What do we need to know about this Sirian energy? What do we need to know about this time of the year and this very potent time of the year, and how we can best work with it? So first, what do we need to know, please, about this so-called Lion's Gate portal, this period of time from the transition of the end of July into August, the galactic new year, the ancient world new year? The new year as is aligned to the eastern horizon rising of Sirius and our sun. And that's what makes it so important, right? It's because it's this alignment of our sun with the twin, with its sister, with its twin, with its binary partner on our eastern horizon the moment that the sun rises, right? That's what makes this time potent, special, important. So what do we need to know, please? What do we need to know about this time of the year? What do we need to know about this time of the year, please? What do we need to know about this time of the year? Thank you. Let's take it all. 7 of Wands reversed. 7 of Cups. Knight of Wands reversed. The High Priestess. The Lovers. 8 of Cups. Ace of Spades. The Hierophant. Queen of Cups reversed. And the 10 of Pentacles. Let's just tap in to these energies. So with the 7 of Wands reversed and the 8 of Cups, this is a powerful time of ego death and leaving behind battles that are no longer pertinent to us, leaving behind things that we have been defending or holding on to, parts of our ego, parts of our personality that we've been fighting to hold on to or keep ingrained or defend. This is a time to walk away from those, things that are not worth fighting for anymore, that are not worth defending anymore. This is a time of year that aids us in this process of spiritual development, going on the spiritual journey, continuing the process. With the 7 of Cups and the Ace of Spades, it's this deep time for spiritual connection, contemplation, and new ideas and renewal. It's a time for manifestation. It's a time where we have more power and more strength to create our reality. The way that this 7 of Cups is coming through, it's like these are all different visions that this person is having. Each of these cups represent a different idea, a different thing they can manifest, a different impulse or creation life force that's running through their spirit or their being. And with the Ace of Spades, it's like the strength, the clarity, the vision, the strength, clarity, and vision to be able to execute any one of them that they please. So this is a powerful, potent time for us to bring our co-creative process into fruition, into the 3D reality, through the power of our mind. This is very interesting. This Knight of Wands with the Hierophant reversed. You know, the Hierophant, in this deck, he's depicted as Chiron, and I love his depiction in this deck, but the Hierophant does represent institutions and also like religious institutions, spiritual institutions. The Knight of Wands, when he's reversed, it's always kind of like a irresponsible, sometimes violent, sometimes kind of like fuckboy energy, irresponsible, violent, and antsy kind of energy in combination with the Hierophant reverse, which is the, you know, the spiritual authority, leader, or religious institution that kind of holds itself above the masses as something like holier than thou, right? It's this time of year where these forces are aware of this energy as well. But I really feel that it's a time where these energies are we need to be aware of these energies. We need to be aware of those who would be irresponsible or violent with their spiritual authority, with their authority in general. It's like these are the forces that are in the background, that are weaving the peripheral or I want to say that these are the forces that are like creating what's the word I'm looking for? Like glitches in the matrix, but it's not really a glitch. It's like the world we live in and the universe we live in is holy and pure and beautiful and is made from the mind of God. However, there are these fallen forces, these fallen spiritual forces that have created like hidden programs within this holy creation that keep us in states of lack, right? So I'm going to use a computer analogy. So imagine that our whole universe is one big computer program. This is just a way for us as our human brain to grasp onto this. I'm not suggesting that we're in some kind of a simulation. I think the word simulation removes all of the holiness from our truth of being here. Suppose that this reality is a computer, right? These fallen forces create hidden programs or bugs within the computer that create problems, that create glitches, that create mini realities within the computer. So the computer is the whole reality, but within it, there can be these little glitches or bugs that create closed systems that contain certain parts of the computer. And if you're in that closed system, it can feel like that's all there is. And these are the forces that try to use this period of time to manipulate reality. And we need to be aware of them. Because in the same way that this is a time of where we have the clarity to manifest or create whatever we want, so do they. They know this. The High Priestess with the Queen of Cups reversed. This is a time where we have deep connection to our inner wisdom, but we have to be mindful of not being hijacked by our trauma, by our emotions, by the relationships that we find ourselves in, that we're not manipulated or self-sabotaging in the name of emotions that are no longer that need to be transmuted and transcended. It's not about not feeling our emotions or getting so high vibe or that toxic positivity where you ignore your emotions. It's not about that. It's about not allowing the traumas of our past and not allowing our emotional states of being to overwhelm us in such a way that we become disconnected or disassociated from our inner high priestess, from our inner wisdom, from our inner connection to our knowledge, our innate knowledge. What's coming through is that this can be a time where there can be a lot of distractions in our physical reality. I'm getting drawn to the way she's like looking at the pearls on her necklace. There can be things in our physical reality that are like shiny and calling our attention and drawing our attention out of ourselves. There can be distractions. There can be emotional situations that are distracting and that can keep us misaligned and out of touch with our inner high priestess energy, with our receptivity. And the Lovers with the 10 of Pentacles. This is a time where we can break soul contracts, make soul contracts, where we can bring forth ancestral wisdom, where we can manifest abundance, where we can create new realities, and where we have a lot of choice. I'm getting the image of like a fork in a road of light, but instead of just like one light, it's like, or one fork, it's like a million different directions. It's like it's like one road, and then you get to a point where there's like 7 or 8 or like 10 different options. It's similar to this energy, right? Where like each one of these cups is a different thing, a different idea, a different expression that can be manifested. It's the same thing. It's like this is a choice point energetically, karmically, emotionally that can lead to a lot of abundance and a lot of manifestation. This is, soul contract card for me. As you can see, there's 2 people here. They're writing something. They've got a beautiful, like, angelic Eve looking woman. She's holding the apple of knowledge and truth. This is a time where we can really bring forth our soul's innate wisdom. What does Sirius want to communicate to us at this time? What does the star Sirius want to communicate to us at this time about this Lionsgate portal, please? Let's see. Sirius, what would you like to communicate to us? Sirius, what message do you have for us, for those who have been drawn into this reading, those whose souls have resonated and found this information? Sirius, what would you like to communicate to us, please? Sirius, what would you like to communicate to us? Sirius, what would you like to communicate to us, please? Sirius. Ooh, wow. Thank you. Thanatos. I'm going to read this from the book because I love this book and I think the descriptions are so juicy and bring forth so much wisdom. So, Thanatos. Death. It is tempting to oversimplify death and sum it up as transformation. But the true archetypal resonance of Thanatos cannot be easily assimilated or contained. Death is ongoing and omnipresent, an eternal response to the gift of birth. Witnessing the ending of another being, creature, phase, or stage has deep consequences for the psyche. We are forever changed by Thanatos as it sweeps us under its wings, making us relinquish control in every form. It leaves a mark of ash upon our heart, signifying we have touched the cusp of the underworld and will return to the land of the living eventually, with more compassion and wisdom to share. This capacity is needed in our world. One who has faced the annihilation of Thanatos can face anything. When this card appears, it signifies an initiation into the underworld. When light, grieving, mourning, bearing witness to all that is. When dark, fear or insensitivity to old age, illness, the dying. There are those with a great gift for navigating Thanatos energy. thankfully, we find these generous souls in emergency rooms, hospitals, hospice centers, and the like. So what's coming through is that, and I'm seeing the face of a woman here, and it looks like she's wearing a crown that's similar to the one in the high priestess is wearing. So there's something here about this energy that is very important for the times that we are in right now. This ability to face death, this ability to go to the underworld. I think we're moving through a time right now where the capacity to face Thanatos is going to be very valuable. So the more intense you are, if you've made it all the way here, you're pretty intense. You're pretty deep. You're pretty attuned to your spirituality and to your higher self. You're not afraid to consider new and alternative perspectives and points of view. Thanatos, in the coming years, I believe that those of you who are here in this reading and who are unafraid to face death, if you're still here, if you're still listening, if you're still connected to your higher self throughout this process, you will be able to face death and come out the other side. Sirius, what will help us in this process of facing death, please? What will help us in this process of facing death or working with death? What will assist us? What will assist us, please? What will assist us with this death energy, with this Thanatos energy? What will assist us? How can we work with this? How can we prepare ourselves for it? What will assist us? Ooh, wow, that's a lot. That's a lot. Can we get just like one or two of these, please? The most important ones. Chamber of the Violet Flame, karmic release, radical transformation. Transformation again. Sirius. What will assist us with this Thanatos energy? What will help us work through it? Okay, so Merkaba activation, transcendence, ascension, you are rising up. Hathor light codes, inner immersion, full system upgrade, power recall. Soul star activation, fulfilling soul contracts, remembering who you are. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. I love all the purple that is in these cards. Yeah, I love all the purple that's in these cards. And we have the Merkaba twice here. So it's really about working with that subtle body, the light body. And Hathor, this is about feminine energy, divine feminine energy, but also like multidimensionality, spirit guides that are multidimensional, cosmic, both ancient and futuristic at once. The Chamber of the Violet Flame, using the Violet Flame, the power of transformation, the power of our active imagination to work with the subtle bodies, right? So going into meditation and imagining the Violet Flame enveloping us and transmuting our energies, calling in these higher vibrational energies. And interesting because this is Horus and this is Hathor. These are both Egyptian deities. We are talking about the star Sirius, which has heavy connections to ancient Egypt. So working with any kind of Egyptian energies, it just feels so Sirius wants us to tap into our multidimensionality, wants us to tap into our innate nature and the power that we hold when we engage with and work with these subtle bodies. So I'm actually going to read these from the book also, because that's what I feel I should be done. I'm going to read them in the order that they came out. So it came this, 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 and this. So let's do that. When you receive this card, know that the violent flame of transformation has been brought to you by your angels and guides. They are encouraging you to see that you are in a space of radical transformation. Transformation can be overwhelming, but know the hand of the divine is leading the way. All past trauma is now being cleared from your energy. Stay focused on releasing all of the energies that are no longer serving you. The violet flame is here to transmute fear into love. If any fear is rising up inside you now, know that it is simply a call for love. Call in the strongest form of love you know and allow those in your inner circle to support you through this transformational time. You are an alchemist with the capacity to take all the latent aspects of your life and turn them into golden opportunities. You can align your life with the divine plan now and live in a more purposeful way. I love that. Thank you. Merkaba activation, transcendence, ascension. You are rising up. You are raising your vibration and becoming the magnetic presence and wisdom of light. You are in a space of ascension. The ascension process isn't about leaving this incarnation or dimension, but about finding harmony within it. All of the attention, love, and care you have been giving to your body are supporting your spiritual journey. A powerful gateway of light is surrounding you now, allowing you to connect with the divine matrix of ancient wisdom. It's important for you to be aware of the information, energy, and downloads you are receiving, for it's all coming through. For all that is coming through is supporting your expansion. You are moving up a level. It's time to fly high. Hathor light codes, light immersion, full system upgrade, power recall. This is a light immersion. You are experiencing a full system upgrade. The infinite solar light of the Hathors is surrounding you now. This is a time of expansion and excitement. You are filled with unlimited potential. The gifts that were once in darkness are now being brought into the light. The parts of yourself that were once hidden are now being seen. Life is being restored. If you have been experiencing sluggishness or tiredness, this is now being washed away. Something ancient has awakened within you, and you are remembering why you are here. Welcome home to your light. I love that. I love how these three repeated this theme of transformation, light body activation, ascension, and awakening. And, not all of the cards in this deck have those themes. These are probably the most similar in terms of like what the messages are coming through are. So let's finish it off with the Soul Star activation, fulfilling soul contracts, remembering who you are. Through your previous journeys, you have learned much about the inner workings of your soul and about the cycles of karma. Before this incarnation, you set a powerful intention to remember your divine origins. At this point, you are in a powerful space, for you are remembering who you truly are, and you know how that you have it within you to make a great difference in your own life, in the lives of those you love, and of course, the world. This remembering is in alignment with the soul contracts you made before coming to this realm. If you find yourself worrying if you are making the right decisions, know that even if you aren't conscious of it, all that you have chosen so far is in accordance with your soul's evolutionary plan. And when you draw this gateway, you are opening up on higher levels. Yes, 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 yes. I love all of this so much. Thank you for these beautiful messages. So Sirius wants us to know that when we are faced with death, when we are faced with transformation, with change, with chaos, with things crumbling and falling apart, that what we need to tap into is our capacity to connect to our light body, connect to our inner being, connect to our spirit team, and continue this process of activation, ascension, and awakening. And what does ascension really mean other than aligning deeper into who you always have been and who you already are? And really, what's required for that is to us to create the time, the space, and the stillness for those experiences. If we're not sitting down and meditating, if we're not going on our nature walks, if we're not moving our bodies correctly, if we're not in communion and prayer with our spirit guides and with source, creator, creatress, mother earth, all of these things, they require us to carve out the time and the space to do so. And so that's what we're being reminded of, is that it's in our hands, it's in our power, it's in our capacity to create the time and the space to do this, to have these upgrades, to connect to the violet flame, to connect to our light body and the activation of our inner being. Wow, I just feel so much intense energy at this time, so much high vibrational energy. If you've made it all the way here to the end, I commend you, I applaud you, I thank you for your presence. I acknowledge you as a high vibrational soul and being who's here to help us on this process of remembering and coming back into a time of consciousness, back into a time of spiritual alignment with the cosmos and with our planet and with each other and with ourselves. And I thank you so much for being here on this earth with me at this time. I'm so grateful for your presence on the planet. And I'm honored to have been able to bring through these messages for you. I truly hope that they have been clarifying and helpful for you during this Lionsgate portal. I don't like using that word Lionsgate because I feel that it has it's been misused. Yes, I feel that this would be much more fitting for us to call as the Sirius portal, or the Sirius Sun alignment, or the Sirius New Year, something like that, right? Something where we actually acknowledge Sirius as the main player and connector and source of all of this. The lion doesn't really have anything to do with this, and I believe is some kind of a symbol or code for other occult forces that are trying to hijack this time. So I used the word Lionsgate in the title to get everyone's attention here. But yeah, I hope that we can, moving forward, transcend and awaken deeper and come into more awareness about these truths. Yes? So anyways, I'm so grateful to have you here. I hope that this reading was helpful for you. I hope that it gave you something you didn't have before. All my information is down in the description box below. If you're interested in a private reading, I am available for those. I'm sending you so much love.